कुछ दिन पहले लॉन्च हुआ था MG Windsor, a very important, much talked about car launch, and but along with the car, a lot of interesting initiatives were taken by MG Motor. And the biggest talking point is, of course, the battery as a subscription initiative, which is something no other car maker has done. And to talk about this, we have Gaurav Gupta. Thank you so
Always a
much,
pleasure.
as always, to speak to us. First of all, obviously, a lot of interesting talk about this initiative that you have taken. Can I just explain to us in detail so that our viewers will get to know it? So,
See, I think firstly, thank you very much. And I think I want to really appreciate the idea of talking in the car itself because we are in the Windsor environment completely.
yes.
See, there are three big reasons where we feel that, which can help to bring in higher EV adoption in India. One of them, of course, is more vehicles, better vehicles, like this one, which is skateboard platform. It's an A segment pricing, B segment size, and C segment space, as you can see in the car.
Yes.
The second has been the charging infrastructure, and now
Okay.
with the help of eHub by MG, 80% of public charging is available on your one app itself. It's like an
Okay.
aggregator. It's like a Zomato of chargers in
Yes.
your way.
Yes.
So your concerns will get addressed there also.
Okay.
The third has always been the higher acquisition price because battery pricing has been very expensive.
Typically 20-30%.
Approximately, right? So now, depending on the battery technology and the number of cells and the size, etc., right? So it is important for us that how do we look at making it very different and easy for people to own an electric vehicle.
Okay.
Now let me take one more step over here. So this is that once we address it, then you are looking at a good adoption of EVs coming in. Now when you are buying a typically ICE vehicle, you are paying for fuel, चाहे वो petrol है या diesel है, you are paying for it as you are driving the car. So similarly in the case of EV, battery is actually a fuel, it's an energy vehicle. So your battery cost, your payment of the battery cost, the cost that you incur should be linked to your kind of usage of the car also.
Okay.
So that is how what we have done is we have separated the battery from the vehicle and you are able to rent the battery as per your usage.
Okay.
So what will happen, look at the maths. If you are buying a 10 lakh rupee car, ICE vehicle, and you're doing 50 kilometers per day, you are doing about 1,500 kilometers per month. In that, if you are looking at, let's say, a 12 kilometers of fuel efficiency, you are buying about 120 liters of petrol. At 100 rupees per cost, you're doing 12,000 rupees of cost. In the case of our MG Windsor, with battery as a service, we are seeing you are paying 3.5 rupees per kilometer for the battery. And because of your charging cost at home charger, etc., 1 rupee per kilometer will also be the charging, so 4.5 rupees. So 4.5 into 1,500 is close to about 6,500 rupees. So you're paying almost half of what your incurring cost will be on a monthly basis. Second part is, we have said that we have got various packages with the help of our financiers.
Okay.
So you will basically have a choice. You might say, listen, I don't want a minimum guarantee per month. So I would
That was one of the biggest questions.
We have got multiple options with the help of our financiers.
Okay.
Number one is no minimum guarantee also depending on your usage. You might say, hey, in summers I like to go out for 2 months, I don't want to pay the minimum guarantee. So for you the package can be with no minimum requirement.
Okay.
The second is for some people who say, hey, my minimum requirement is okay, but what if I drive more? In that case, obviously if you pay more, your entire battery cost which is going to be recovered by your usage will be faster. So you can actually accelerate your payout of the battery.
Okay.
And the third is where you say, I'll be happy with this minimum payment charges.
Okay.
And it assures me of when I drive, I pay. And the minimum guarantee is basically my equation is such that it will be always taken care of. I'll be always driving that. So we have got with 4 financiers, the disruptive financiers now in this case, these options are available to customers.
There are 4 plans.
There are plans. So
announced.
Bajaj Finance is one.
Okay.
Hero FinCorp is second.
Okay.
We've got a new startup called Vidyut, which is, and then the fourth one is Autovert along with the Ecofy.
Okay.
These are 4 disruptive financiers who have brought this because see, any new concept always requires a disruptive thought process. And while we had talked to all the legacy financiers and the established banks also, it will take some time for their approvals and all to take place.
Okay.
But with this model already being in place now, there is an announcement.
Yeah.
I expect they also will be bringing this package in, and this will actually encourage people to move towards EV. The biggest important thing here is that this breaking up of the battery and the car gives a very clear mind shift that car is one and the battery is my fuel.
Okay.
The moment you separate the two, you start seeing the advantage of cost of ownership. You start seeing the advantage that you are actually getting an upgrade in your life.
Okay.
By just paying a 10 lakh rupees, you're getting a car which is automatic, which is spacious, which is modern, trendy, all feature loaded. So in a way, ICE equals EV is the concept with this pricing of BAAS.
Okay.
So we have actually broken that myth where people were always looking at EV being more expensive than ICE. With this, we have brought the gap to be equal now.
Okay.
ICE equals EV.
Okay.
And actually you take the benefit of running cost.
Okay. One of the questions that we got was the people are confused the battery ka ownership. If you can just.
So the battery obviously you are renting.
Okay.
From the financier, right?
Okay.
So obviously till the time you are using it, you are paying for it.
Okay.
Now there is obviously a cost to the battery also that we will disclose. So once you are, depending on the package you have taken, if you are able to accelerate it, the battery is yours. If
Okay.
you are paying the 3.5 rupees, you can keep paying for it for some time
Okay.
till it is recovered. And if you're not paying with no minimum guarantee requirement, there'll be some kind of a structure of maybe some deposit may be there.
Okay.
So there are all the options available.
Okay.
The key part here that is very important is that you are getting the flexibility of battery and the car itself.
Okay. You can choose according to you.
Yes.
So you don't have to have a plan which even if you don't drive 50 kilometers, you can choose a plan.
Yes, there are plans, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. There are
And
plans.
there are plans, and you can even have the choice that I will not pay. I will not take the 10 lakhs. I don't want the loan. I'll pay upfront. I only want to rent the battery.
Okay.
That also the option is available.
Okay.
You also have the option of renting paying the financing for the car and financing for the battery also.
Okay.
So we have got.
So there is an
multiple options.
upfront for the battery also, which you can.
You can choose to say, you know what, I will not. We will also have the option of buying the full car also.
Okay.
So you will have the choice. I will rephrase it. One is battery as a service.
Okay.
Which means you are renting the battery.
Yeah.
And the 9.99 is available at the car price. Now within the battery as a service, you have a choice either with a minimum guarantee, no minimum guarantee, faster acceleration. Choice is yours as per your requirements.
Okay.
And then we will also have the option wherein you may want to buy the car outright completely, the full
Okay.
package with
Okay,
the
there's
battery
going to be an
itself.
option.
We will option there also.
Okay. Okay.
Which will be done when we declare the pricing of the car. We'll talk about that also.
Of the other variants.
of our MG Windsor when we declare
Yeah.
the full price.
Okay.
That also will be available to you.
Okay. So
So-
that was a few of the doubts
Yeah,
regarding.
so consumers will have the choice of full purchase.
Okay.
They have the choice of battery as a service. Within that, they have a choice of what package they want. They may even say that we will only want to rent the battery. We don't want to, pay the EMI for the car.
Okay.
You can do that also.
So there's a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, and then suppose you are saying that I'm not able to. You are not paying the. Suppose there's a default by the customer. So he has paid for the full car, but battery he is renting. And after some time there is no payment by the customer for the battery, and he is using it, for example. Then the bank, the financier, typically based on the typical approach of contacting the customer, there's a communication, there is an agreement which they have signed. So basis that agreement, they will be talking to the consumer about addressing the situation of a non-payment.
Okay.
Now in this case, obviously, because the vehicle has been paid for by the customer and only the battery has been rented, the financier may look at repossessing the car because the battery is as part of the package.
Okay.
Now you might say, listen, I have not paid for the battery only as per my usage, but the car I have paid for.
Yeah.
So in that case, what will happen is that the residual value, as per the normal market practice, whatever is the residual value of the car, the resale value of the car, after that time, whatever it may be, 1 year, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, basis that the calculation will be done.
Okay.
And that value will be given back to the customer, adjusted for the battery outstanding.
Okay.
So the customer, if he has paid for the full shell and not paid for the battery, and there's a default, and the car is repossessed by the financier, the resale value of the car is adjusted basis the battery outstanding, and the rest money is given back to the customer. Because the customer will say, I want the residual value back of the car that I paid for.
Okay.
So for that 10 lakh rupees, he'll get the residual value.
Oh, that's on the price of the car he has.
Obviously.
Okay. Okay. One question is, of course.
So that part also will has been addressed.
Yes. Yes. Another question is, of course, it's a 3-year, I think, buyback.
So 3 years is the buyback that we have.
Okay.
3-60 program has been there.
Okay.
which offers the consumer a choice of buying a small AMC and maintenance package from our
Okay,
side with a
okay.
small top up, and then therefore they get the 3 year 60% buyback.
Okay, and if the buyer wants to keep the car, so how if even for more than more than 3 years, so what's the initiative there? And regarding the
See, we are
battery?
looking at providing a 3 year 60% buyback as a package.
Okay.
But obviously, customers may want to keep the car for 4 years, for 5 years, etc. At that point in time, basis whatever is a fair market practice, the market value, the resale value in the market,
Okay.
the consumer will have a choice always whether
Okay.
he wants to provide it in the open market or wherever it is.
Okay.
From our side, our 3 year 60% is for 3 year period.
Okay, okay. And whatever customer sells the car, I think second year, but the battery is obviously it's rented. The customer has paid upright for the car. So how will that work?
So the match will be, like I said, so
Okay.
your resale value of the car that you have paid for minus the outstanding on the battery will be adjusted to the customer
Okay.
depending on what package you have taken.
So the
There will be a complete maths that will be there, a full
Okay,
chart will be
okay.
shared that if you are, this is your payment plan. If there's a default or there is a where you are not paying up for the battery, then depending on the value of the vehicle, and if you have not taken the 3-60 package, then based on the market value, the car, like a typical financier will adjust the market value.
Okay, so there you go. Sare questions have been answered because there were a lot of doubts.
It's a game changer program.
Yeah,
Frankly,
now that makes
our request is that if there are more financiers who come to do this, at the same time, if there are other players who also offer this to their products,
Okay.
this will be an EV movement in India.
Okay.
So the way, frankly, the way mutual fund Sahi has been a movement. Similarly, if this battery as a service with all multiple financiers, multiple companies, brands coming together, this movement will help in higher and faster EV adoption in India.
So obviously this is a very new kind of initiative. It's also important to how to educate the buyers. Has MD been thinking on that?
Yes, so we have actually prepared various modules and
Okay.
various programs. Our teams have also been trained on this.
Okay.
We are going to be, and we are working on releasing small short videos, understanding the whole concept. It's very important to make it collaborative because anything new, anything different does require and will go through this kind of phase manner for acceptance. And also intrigue and going forward. I must say that the initial response has been overwhelming.
Okay.
It's been simply fantastic in terms of the whole the product and the concept of battery as a service has really been very, very encouraging for us.
Okay. Last question. You have currently I think 4 battery. I think the plans for the battery rental.
We have 4 financials.
Yeah, 4 finance. So is there any scope for adding more?
So we are talking, in the last few days, we've been approached by multiple other financiers also. At the same time, the established banks and financing companies have also tried to understand this model to bring it also work. We are working with them also.
Okay.
We remain very hopeful that more options and more partners will come and join this entire movement.
Okay, fantastic. So there you go. All of the doubts have been cleared, and obviously with this, I think it does get quite an appealing ownership proposition. Thank you as always.
Thank you very
Thank you for
much.
speaking to us. Thank you.